to stay out of my head. Stuck between my rights and my wrongs. Second guessing what I'm doing. Like, am I really there for my boy? Not enough, but if I'm paying child support, do they make it for time that I've lost? Whole time paying this court system. Can't even call my little man a game system, cause my checks be short. And if your bag too short, well, you had to miss a month. Slipping up, I gotta pick it up. Grind limitless, but it got your folks like, yeah, I hope you don't get caught. Like I missed the payments on purpose. Can you see I failed and I'm hurting? Ain't had no job, so no working. Or the job I work is not working.
Shalom, this is your Ark. Yah is magnified. Coming back with another informative video. I titled this video, Nick Jones Federal Lawsuit Experience. But before I tackle this subject, as always, I must state for the record, I'm not a lawyer, I do not practice law, and I do not pretend to. All my videos are for informational and educational purposes only. They're all facts and all truth. Nothing more, nothing less. So with that being said, let's get to it. Okay, guys, so this is going to be a powerful video, okay? I'm going to share a lot of information with you all. And the main reason why I'm doing this video is because I feel as though this information need to be put out there, okay? And people need to understand what's really going on. People also need to understand that everything that's on YouTube is not what it appears to be, all right? You have individuals claiming that they have 30 years of experience assisting people with child support without any results whatsoever, okay? Making false claims and trying to discredit people who really have information and really provide evidence and proof of the things that have been done and things that they are continue to do, such as myself. Okay, so this individual who I'm speaking of, he had this client. Okay, his client is known as Nick Jones. All right, I don't know Nick Jones personally. I was happening to go on my Facebook, right, and I noticed Nick Jones had made a comment. So I clicked on Nick Jones's comments and read what was going on, and then I decided to share it with you all on YouTube, okay? But the gentleman who Nick Jones went to for help is now trying to deny that Nick Jones was never his client from the beginning, which was far from the truth, okay? Like I said, I have Nick Jones posted up so much evidence that it's undisputed, okay? But the person also tried to make it seem as though I paid Nick Jones to come on here and say this, which is far from the truth, guys. I don't even know Nick Jones, and plus this was done way back in September 2019, okay? While he was still working with the fraud of law. All right, so again, I'm just trying to show you all this, okay? Not only that, but the same person who worked with Nick is also trying to get my YouTube channel shut down. Why? Because I'm exposing the truth about that person. All right, so now let's go. As you all can see, if you have Facebook, simply log to your Facebook account, right? That's all you have to do. Click on the search bar, okay? Type that person name in at the top, okay? You see it. I call them the fraud of law, but you're going to type that name in, that you all can see, and you're going to get this image right here, okay? That's the person who helped Nick, all right? But let's continue. Even though he's trying to deny he helped Nick, but let's continue to prove he helped Nick. As you all can see, this was done September the 3rd, 2019. Nick Jones exposing the child support scheme, right? That's the group. Let's click on it. As you all can see, this is what I posted as a post on my YouTube. Okay, so you all can see that this stuff is all real. I never, Nick did all this on his own. Nick been trying to warn people back then, like I've been trying to warn people for the last 3 years. But let's continue. Let's find out what happened in Nick's experience. So Nick has showed proof of everything. He showed proof that emails that he responded back to him, even emails that he paid. You see? He said he paid $1,500 to deceptionstoppers.com. But let's continue. Okay? Let's further continue down. Now this is Nick conversation with the fraud of law, as you all can see. Okay? Pause the screen, read it. Alright? So y'all can see what really have taken place and how this man speak and talk to his clients. But let's continue. Let's get out of here. Let's go to the next one that Nick showed 24 weeks ago. Let's continue. Nick Jones again with the fraud of law. But this is the fraud of law response to Nick Jones, but I just showed y'all. Now read his response, guys. Pause the screen and read his response. This is how he talked to his clients, man. People need to understand what's going on. When I call this guy out, I'm calling him out not for my benefit. Why? I don't have to deal with this cat. I'm not on child support, as you all can know, as you all know, and I proved. Okay, this is for those who are and looking for the truth. And I'm just trying to show you all, stay away from certain people, man. And it's just that simple. I'm not doing this for me. I don't have to do this for me. I'm good, as you all know. So this for those that looking for truth and are running into certain situations and feeling as though because they're desperate and they like what they hear, they feel as though it works. It doesn't work, guys. Okay? But let's continue. So now that we got that out the way and we see that he blocked Nick, he basically cussed him out, talked down on him after Nick gave him his hard-earned money for his assistance. This is how he talked to his clients. Okay? But not only that, guys. Let's go to Nick's federal lawsuit and see the results that Nick received after he filed the federal lawsuit. So let's go there. Okay, as you all can see, this is truly indeed Nick's federal lawsuit that he filed in federal court underneath the guidance of the fraud of law, okay? Even though the fraud of law is trying his best to make people believe that Nick was never a client, even though Nick has showed and proved evidence to the contrary, okay? So now with that being said, let's go over Nick's federal lawsuit to see if Nick's outcome is any different than any of his other clients' home federal lawsuits I posted to show you guys why you should not be entering into these federal courts to begin with, okay? So now, as you all can see, Nick filed his federal lawsuit underneath the guise of Ahmed Osiris in what? The United States District Court, Southern District of Indiana, Indianapolis Division, right? Then it states Nicholas Jones of the family Jones, the aggrieved party. Okay? We all know who teaches that of the family nonsense. The only person I know of that teaches that is the fraud of law. But let's continue. Then it states Department of Child Support Services, 42 USC 654-3, alone, separate, and apart, XO. So now we all know who's telling you guys to go in there and sue these individuals. And it's the exact same heading, exact same capacity, okay? I already posted up another guy's header. His header states the same thing, which is James Frederick of the family Williams, okay? He also have the same thing. He think he have a court date coming up in 2021. I told him they will file a summary judgment against him. He will lose. His results will be no different than what the results Nick has received, okay? But let's continue. As we all can see, it states order on pending motion. Who pending motion is they making an order on? Let's read real quick to find out. I'm not going to read over this whole thing. I'm just going to skim through it so you all get better understanding of why they dismissed the case, okay? It states, this cause is now before the court on the motion to dismiss filed by defendants, Department of Child Support Services, Gregory Horns, Stacy Lane, David Lonnie McClintock, David Powell, and Charles Todd. Collectively, the state's defendants. Docket number 22. Defendant Reed Hospital and Healthcare Services, Inc., Reed Hospital, docket number 27. Defendant Jeffrey Arnold, docket number 29. And defendants Randy Redder, Wayne County Child Support Services, and Wayne County Courthouse. Collectively, the county defendants, docket number 31, for lack of subject matter jurisdiction and alternatively for failure to state a claim pursuant to federal rules of civil procedures 12B1 and 12B6. Remember, guys, I always tell y'all they're going to dismiss the case for 12B1, 12B6, failure to state a claim, and sovereign immunity. But let's continue. Plaintiff Nicholas Jones, proceeding pro se, brings this action under 42 USC 1983. So now we know who keep telling you all to go to these courts and file federal lawsuits underneath 42 USC 1983. And I keep telling you all to start at these federal courts because that's not the way to go and you will lose. But let's continue. Then it states alleging that defendants violated Article 1 of the United States Constitution as well as his rights guaranteed by the 1st, 4th, 5th, 6th, 13th, and 14th Amendments. Now, if you guys go back and watch that last video I made about the fraud of law's client, they all argue the same rights and the same amendments, the exact same way. But let's continue. Plaintiff also alleges various state law tort claims against defendant. For the reasons detailed below, we grant defendant's motion to dismiss without prejudice based on a lack of subject matter jurisdiction. So with that being said, the all the defendants that filed their motion to dismiss, their all was granted, so they won. And my brother Nick, he lost underneath the guidance of the fraud of law. So I've been trying to tell you all, you must stay out of these federal courts because nothing good is coming out of them, okay? Especially if you already have a state court judgment. But let's find out. Let's read even more. Let's go to the factual background real quick. It says Mr. Jones' complaint alleges that the events giving rise to his claim begins on January 10th, 2015, when his mate gave birth to offspring at Reed Hospital, docket 1 at 6. The complaint alleges that during the magic moment after birth, hospital maternity contractors entered into the room and induced Jones to sign a voluntary acknowledgement of paternity. However, said 4D contractors knowingly did not provide Jones due process by failing to inform him of the legal consequences that arise from signing the VAP. We know what the VAP is. It's called, if you don't, it stands for the Voluntary Acknowledgement of Paternity. But let's continue. Mr. Jones contends that because of defendant's actions, he has incurred substantial financial harm in the form of wage withholdings and other methods of withholding assets to pay child support ordered by Wayne Superior Court. Then it states, according to Mr. Jones, based on his obligation to pay child support, he is currently compelled to associate with the defendants and is compelled to be a customer of DCS against his will. Even though 4D provisions are not law, he alleges that each named defendant was involved and was fully aware of what happened. Defendants have all filed motion to dismiss for lack of subject matter jurisdiction under Rule 12b-1 based on the Rook-Feldman Doctrine and under Rule 12b-6 for failure to state a claim. The motions are fully briefed and ripe for ruling. So again, we know that automatically, 12b-1 and 12b-6 got him up out of there. And 12b-1 was based on the Rook-Feldman Doctrine. So let's continue. Standard under Rule 12b-1. Then it states federal rules of civil procedures command that courts dismiss any suit over which they lack subject matter jurisdiction, whether acting on the motion of a party or sui sponte. Okay? Then it says, in ruling on a motion to dismiss under Rule 12b-1, we must accept the complaint, well-pleaded factual allegations as true, and draw reasonable inferences from those allegations in the plaintiff's favor. Case law to support that. We may, however, properly look beyond the jurisdictional allegations of the complaint and view whatever evidence has been submitted on the issue to determine whether in fact subject matter jurisdiction exists. Case law to support that. Then it says, an additional consideration informs our review here. Because Mr. Jones filed his complaint pro se without the assistance of counsel, we construed his contents with still greater liberality than that normally afforded to plaintiffs. Case law to support that. Number 2, the Rook-Feldman Doctrine. Okay, so we're going to skim past this real quick. It states the Rook-Feldman Doctrine. The Rook-Feldman Doctrine named after the Rook-Feldman Doctrine named after the Supreme Court's decision in Rooker versus Fidelity Trust Company and District of Columbia Court of Appeals versus Feldman. Right? Then it states prevents the lower federal courts from exercising jurisdiction over cases brought by state court losers challenging state court judgments rendered before the district court proceeding commenced. Okay, so now, for to let you guys know, if you was in state court and the state court ruled against you, remember I told y'all that someone is suing you all in lower court. Okay, they're not suing the social security number. No, they're suing the name. Once they sue that name and social family court, and they receive a judgment against you, then the enforcement process starts. But once you lose that case, you cannot file a 1983 case against the child's mom because they already ruled against you. So underneath the Rook-Feldman Doctrine, that is now barred, so you will automatically lose your federal lawsuit. Okay, for those who need understanding. So let's continue. Case law to back that up. It says only the United States Supreme Court has jurisdiction to correct state court judgments. Thus, federal district courts may not review and reject such rulings. Case law to support that. Alright? Then it says any relief from an adverse decision in state courts must be pursued through the state appellate system. Remember I told you guys, you can find remedy where? In the appeals court if you lose in the state court. But let's continue. With the option of seeking certiorari from a final judgment. Case law to support that. Then it states right here, if a claim is barred by the Rook-Enthronement Doctrine, right, a federal court lacks subject matter jurisdiction over the case. You see? Then it states, case law to support that. Then it states, this is true regardless of the soundness of the state's court decision, as the federal courts lack subject matter jurisdiction even if the state court judgment was erroneous or unconstitutional. Okay? So again, these state court, meaning these federal courts, only attacking the state court, guys. I can't stress this enough. The person is sending y'all down the rabbit hole and getting you into a lot of trouble when going into these federal courts. But let's continue. Claims that directly seek to set aside a state court judgment are de facto appeals and are barred without additional inquiry. Okay? So now you all can see, there's more information that the Rook-Enthronement Doctrine is doing to them. So let's continue. We can all pause it, take your time and read all of it if you want. Okay? I don't have time to go over the whole thing. Okay? Now let's go over the discussions. Right? It states, to the best of our understanding, Mr. Jones' claims in this case are all based on his view that Title 4D is unjust and illegal. That defendants acting as Title 4D contractors failed to adequately inform him of the consequences of voluntarily admitting paternity, and that as a result, he has been unlawfully required to pay child support and compelled to be a customer of the Department of Child Services against his will. In other words, the only injury alleged in Mr. Jones' complaint, to wit, the requirement that he pay child support despite his view that Title 4D is not law, flows directly from state court orders imposing the financial support obligation in connection with his underlying paternity case and finding him in contempt for failure to pay. Right? Let's continue. Therefore, although Mr. Jones does not directly seek to overturn a state court judgment to rule in his favor, we would have to overturn the state court orders imposing child support obligations. It is well settled that a plaintiff may not seek a reversal of a state court judgment simply by casting his complaint in the form of a civil rights action. And that's what Osiris is trying to do. That's what the Father Law is teaching his clients and want them to believe as such. But let's continue. Case law to support that. Then it said, that is what Mr. Jones is attempting to do here. Then it says, further, Mr. Jones has a reasonable opportunity to raise his claims in the state court proceedings. Thus, proceedings extended over a 3-year period, and Mr. Jones attended and participated in court hearings as which his child support obligation was addressed and where these issues could have been raised. For these reasons, we lack subject matter jurisdiction over Mr. Jones' claims, and his complaint must therefore be dismissed. Right? Let's continue. Conclusion. For the foregoing reasons, plaintiff complaint is dismissed without prejudice for lack of subject matter jurisdiction. Final judgment shall enter. Accordingly, it is ordered. Judge's signature, okay? So again, this is another one of the Father Law's clients that went in the federal court and received poor services from, the Father Law, and now the Father Law trying to act like he don't even know the guy once the guy put him on blast stating that he never did what he said he was going to do. Okay? So again, that's what I'm going to do for today. Everything on YouTube ain't what it appears to be, guys. Like I said, if they haven't showed any evidence that they have any success in their own case, or they ever helped anyone with success, then why believe them, okay? Study to show thyself approved, man. You guys don't have to go to anyone for help. I have free videos on there. You can watch my free videos, study, get your understanding, and go to court and handle your business. It's just that simple, okay? So, again, that's all I'm going to do for today. If you all need my help, though, hit me up in my email at y'allismagnified@gmail.com. With that being said, I say shalom.